Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to discuss the reasons why individuals would not succeed. Most of the time I cover how to succeed, the things that I've seen that have worked in the past, different patterns, etc. This time I'm going to discuss, the things I've seen that have been losing strategies, as well as my hypothesis as to what will lead to losing strategies going forward. Now, keep in mind, this is my guess. This is the way I see things. Feel free to challenge me on anything. That's I'm here to grow. I'm here to do things better, etc. I'm constantly looking for new pathways. Okay, so why you won't succeed at crypto, number one, is if you're taking the technical analysis approach. If you're a trader, now hear me out. Don't get offended. A lot of people can get emotional about these things. But what we're looking at here is the odds of getting rich over, let's say, a 10-year span. And what that means is 10,000, doing a 10,000x on your investment. I've done 5,000 over 10 years. So even I have not met my own standard. I have not done a 10,000 over 10 years. That has been my goal, is to see myself do a 10,000 over 10 years. That's the strategy that I hope to employ and accomplish. And that's the kind of thing that I like to accomplish. So what are the odds that you're going to accomplish that with TA, technical analysis? The odds are very, very, very low. If you look at everything from the point of view of a distribution curve, in which is the way you should view everything, you should view everything through the eyes of a distribution curve. Everything is probabilities. Every action, you step in a car, this whole thing is, you're going to be in the very low odds of getting in an accident on any given day. You step in an airplane, the odds are very low. But there is people, who fall into those categories. So the point of looking at a distribution curve is because everybody experiences life from different angles and from a different probability. So looking at TA, this is what is the distribution curve for success as being in the TA. If you want to do a 10,000x over 10 years with TA, the odds are probably 1 in 10,000. Or that means there will be 1,000 people for every million that have made it to be extremely, or have made it to be rich in crypto from TA. That means there's a huge group of people that have become successful using TA. However, the odds of any individual are extremely low. So, but you're always, since we're in a hyper-connected world, you're always going to hear that 1,000. Think about it. If there's 10 million people who use TA, that means there's going to be 10,000 people saying, "I got rich from TA. You can too," and they're going to be a witness for why that strategy works, even though it is not a winning strategy from my point. What is a winning strategy is where the distribution curve probability is that you would get an 80% chance of getting that 10,000x over 10 years. That's the objective. And even with that, many will fail. Even in a win scenario where I've been successful, where the contents that I've done through my services, my Intrepid token services, right? Even with a successful deployment of services from the Intrepid token, many will fail. The goal is to have 80% reach that 10,000x over 10 years. That is the objective. However, there will still be a huge swath of people, 20%, if I'm successful. Look, I could be also unsuccessful. I could get it wrong. Even I have only, this app, even I have only hit 5,000x over 10 years. Now, the goal is that I've learned along the way my mistakes, clear out. Hopefully I can help others avoid those mistakes. That's, bringing my knowledge, and maybe this 5,000x could be multiplied if you can remove, get that experience and remove the losses over the next 10,000 years, and won't make the same mistakes that I've made. TA would be one of those. But anyways, even in a successful scenario, many will fail. And these people will be very loud. And these guys often, they get excited. But you know what happens with the winners in my group? This has happened before. The winners leave. They say, "Thanks, peace out. I'm done. I'm retired." That's the goal. The winners go away and be quiet. They hide away on their private islands. They leave the group and they're done. They've won. That's what I like to see. I like to, obviously I would like them to buy the Intrepid token, be part of the community forever. I'm going to keep growing it into a business model that aims to continually provide services. But I'm also happy with the people that come in and leave. Because that's the objective. That's what I like. That's what I feel successful at, is this group. Now, obviously, no matter what I do, this group is going to exist because in a win scenario, many will fail. The goal is to get 80% odds that over 10 years, you'll get that 10,000x. And okay, so now that I've mentioned why I think TA is, one of the big reasons that many won't make it because of this chart, guess what? I think it's going to get even worse. Now, hear me out. Like, some people will say, oh, I've done really well, etc. All right, even if you've been successful, even if I'm wrong about this distribution curve right now, I'm going to explain why it's about to get even worse. Whatever this is, the red is going to shift to the right. Why? Because of LLMs, because of machine learning models. What they do is they say at any given point we have data and we look at an interval, some time interval, and it's TA data points. You think your little triangles, your little drawings, your experience, your intuitions, you think you're going to beat this? Good luck. I don't think you have a chance of beating the LLMs. Now imagine this. Even up to date, even if TA has been successful up to date, some people will claim that to be the case. From a probability standpoint, they might think this is a different distribution curve. I'm going to make the argument that it's going to be much, much worse because of the LLMs. We think multidimensionally. We have a matrix in our brain called our neural, our network, our brain. What's connectum? It is our connectum. And, it's basically matrices of matrices that allow for, different interpretations of reality. These AI models are going to be, they're going to be trained to TA. There's, individuals training completely on TA over time intervals to absolutely get the best odds possible. You have 0% chance of beating this. You have 0% chance. You have 0, 0, 0. That's what I'm making an argument for. Now, here's the thing: if you're a company and you spend millions of dollars on these on an LLM that is trained, okay, then you're going to be the successful guy. If you have the LLM, if you have an LLM, if you have these huge machine AI models that are working on your favor for TA, that's who's going to be successful. So, in other words, summary of TA, if it's you plus AI, then you'll be fine. But if it's just you, if you're not using AI, you will fail. You have to use AI. Otherwise, get out. Don't use this strategy. If you're not using AI, you will lose. And by lose, what I mean is that you're playing this game. Of course, some people will win the lottery and be part of the extremely rare winners. But what you're doing is, even if this guy played this game and he ended up winning, if someone won, sure, they might win as an individual, but they played the wrong game. Even though they won that game, they played the lottery, they rolled the dice, they won, they got struck by lightning, so to speak, from the lottery. There's always going to be this group, no matter what. There's always going to be this group. Because, there's just so many damn humans and so many people playing. But if you play this game, you're going to be one of these guys. That's the odds of it. Of course, there's always going to be the witnesses that say it works because they were up here. All right, that's the TA angle. Now, I'll just briefly cover all the other ones. Number 2, fundamentals don't work. Now, this is, from me, is an extreme position, but I've learned that fundamentals don't work. They've worked somewhat in the beginning, but now with the memes running and all that stuff, the biggest hurdle I'm saying here is your mind. You're too smart. You're a smart person. You did your homework. You have expertise in PDEs or different financial analysis, blah blah blah. You still can make wrong conclusions, etc. And if you get tied, if you're just too damn smart, that's what I'm saying here. If you're too smart, you're not going to win from that either. Guess what? Once again, this comes to you plus AI. If you're not using AI in your strategy, you will fail. No, even if you're doing fundamentals, even if you're smart, these LLMs, not only will they do TA, but they will also do fundamentals. They will read articles, they will look at team members, they will do all those things. And because they have such a large matrix, of values, like this would kind of represents a data points, like a web point. Each one of these values could represent a correlation. They will be able to see the insights that you just can't see. AI is going to be smarter than us. So you have to take the approach that if you're taking any approach, it has to have AI. If you're not using AI, you will fail. All right. Another reason people fail in crypto is you sell. Now, some people say, I didn't sell the top, whatever. The biggest wins, the way these things turn out, this is the way it turns out, historically speaking, is 3% of the time gives you 90% of the results. If you can think of a chart looking like this from a log scale, this is the way it typically looks. They go sideways, up, sideways. Very short period of time, most of the gains happen. So when you invest, you are hoping that this future period of time will happen, and it's very short. Okay, so that is the way to think about it from a hold standpoint. Basically, it's a loser for a very long time, and it's like this forever, and then it's bam like this. So during this whole entire period, people are going to criticize you, say you're a dumbass, say, this is where you're the dumbass, you're the idiot. During this whole entire long period of time, finally, a little sliver happens where you win. That's the way winners happen. That's the way I've seen it happen is, you're a loser. You're going to be a loser for a very long time. You got to be patient. Could take years. All of a sudden, bam. As long as the team is continually making progress, updating it, has a good business model, they're motivated and they're staying strong. Remember that it takes 3% of the time to get 90% of the results. That means you're just holding and doing nothing and forgetting about it. Just take your bets and hold it. Don't trade it. Whatever you do, even if it dumps, if you took your bet. Now, sometimes I will dump a loser if the team looks like they gave up, or if at the time the narrative changes, etc. Sometimes I'll do that. But, these rules are somewhat loose, but you have to develop an intuition for this stuff. Anyways, most of the time, 3% of the time equals 90% of the results. Now, finally, another reason why you won't succeed in crypto is because of hacks. You sign a malicious contract, you lose a bunch of money. So keep your hot wallet separate. You expose your private key. Once again, keep your crypto on a safe private key. Manage your private key safely. Not your keys, not your money. I made poor recommendations in the past with Celsius or with other exchanges. Do not keep your funds on a centralized exchange. Do not trust your crypto with anyone else. Self-custody. Do not leave it on an exchange. You will lose it. Not your keys, not your crypto. And that also counts for smart contracts. If you're leaving your funds on a smart contract, it's not your keys, not your funds, if that contract has a failure in the future. So the way I would kind of rank all these things that I just talked about on why you won't be successful in crypto, the things that potentially would lead to you not being successful, is you're not playing the long game. You're not using AI, and for your TA, you're not using AI for your fundamentals, and you're not using good security practices. Remember, it's a 10-year interval. So what I'm saying is, over the last 2 years, what I'm saying is some of these strategies might still work, like even fundamentals might work on some level. Even TA might work on some level, but in 2 years time, in less than 2 years time, it's over. It's game over. Why? AI. Okay. If you're not using that in your strategy, if you're not using the LLMs or you're not using a AI assistant on your side, you're done for. It's just that simple. All right, finally, these are some of the services that Intrepid hopes to help shift the curve. We hope to help shift the curve of probabilities of your success from this mostly red probability. Remember, there's always going to be those gamblers. The goal is to shift the curve like this over long-term thinking. That's the goal, to think long-term. What the app does, the Intrepid token has several different services. It has the app, the DAO, and the pre-launch seeds. What the app does is it basically looks at all the projects and puts them on the distribution curve from negative 100 to 100. So negative 100 to 100, and it puts them on this curve. It doesn't mean something's going to be successful if it's on this distribution curve. It just means that it correlates with that. So it's like one screen. That's, it's like the one little screen, and it's picked many 10x's so far. Doesn't mean the ones that it's picking now are 10x's. It just means that they correlate. That's it. That's all it means. It's just saying, oh, these projects correlate to winners over here. These correlate to losers over here. But the actual result is obviously another probability curve. So it's just like one level of screening. That's what our app does. It puts the projects in order on a probability curve, and you want to just generally look at this group, right? Also, it has access to our DAO, the Intrepid DAO, which is gets you the community and also seed rounds. Seed rounds are getting in projects, these seed round tabs in our Discord with our partners, Bigger Than Race. These are the guys that we've formed a partnership with that allows for you to get access to projects before they launch, before the crowd. So you're getting that edge. You're getting an element of advantage, which is, another strategy that you want to employ. I say use AI as well as plus advantage. And all, those are the things that you want. You want advantages, you want AI. Also, in the future, I'm hoping to, I'm raising funds to get a data analyst, a SQL analyst, and, an AI engineer to make our own LLM. Because my goal is to eventually train my own LLM. And it wouldn't be based on TA, it would be based on fundamentals. A LLM. Imagine an LLM that reads all the content, and all it does is just think about crypto all day, every day. And it would be picking those, finding those patterns between some time intervals, just the way my bot works now. Basically, my bot right now is just math. Right now, the bot is just math to pick this, but my goal is to attach an LLM to it. So instead of, we have like 25 data points, instead it would be using the whole web, and it'd be using a matrix that's like thousands of, points. Eventually, this is what my goal is to build. So depending on how my seed rounds work this time, in the next cycle, I hope to be able to employ that guy into our app, but that's the future. Right now it's just math. But these are the services that hopefully what we're doing is the goal is to shift the probability curve from here to here. We're still going to have losers, but there's, the goal is to have an 80% win rate over 10 years. Who knows if we actually are delivering it? I myself have several, this experience over time. That's what I'm aiming to do. It's one of my goals. It's just one of my ambitions. And so I build these things for myself, and I build them to assist me. And, I put them out as the Intrepid token as an access. So what you get is the pre-launch seeds, the DAO, and the app. And these things hopefully help shift the probability curve. All right, later, guys. Once again, to emphasize, you need to be using AI, or you need to use some kind of edge to be successful in crypto. That's what you need. You need to have an edge. Don't go in there without understanding, especially don't be trading without an AI assistant, and don't be doing, this strategy might have a little bit time left. But once again, with AI coming on the scene, don't do a strategy without AI. And that's the bottom line is, you won't retire from crypto if you're not using AI, or if you're not using some kind of thing that gives you an advantage. All right, please check out my services, and I'll talk to you guys later.